Welcome to Jewellery Training Solutions Drawing Masterclass, and this is the first of a series of drawing lessons run by a good friend of mine, Claire Dale. Having the ability to translate your ideas to a customer is essential to a jewellery business. Claire is an accomplished jeweller and has been a jewellery designer for some of Australia's top jewellers. She welcomes the opportunity to pass on her skills to students. Claire introduced her teaching techniques to my jewellery apprentices some years ago, and I was amazed that the group who initially claimed to be either unable or not interested in drawing excelled in drawing and design, and to this day they still use those techniques to win orders.
Thanks, Pete. Before we get started today, we'll just take you through a couple of the materials that we need to do a simple lesson. Let's have a quick look at the basic list of materials that we need to do our exercise today. The type of paper that I use is a standard A4 photocopy paper. It has a medium size in it, which allows the ink not to bleed and also allows for a nice clean pencil line. It will take some kind of rubbing before it starts to pill and break down, so yeah, just your standard photocopy paper is fine. In terms of the pencils and the leads that we need, graphite is fine. You can either use a wooden pencil or a retractable pencil. If you're using a wooden pencil, look for 2H, and that notation will be on the very end of the pencil. All brands are the same. 2H is good in terms of giving a nice clean line that doesn't smudge too much. And with that you'll need a good quality pencil sharpener. Again, Staedtler is quite good. If you prefer a retractable pencil, you can use Rupturing or Staedtler, or indeed Faber. I used Rupturing and Staedtler. The size you need is 0.35 of a mil, and that's in relation to the leads that you will be using. So of course you'll need your refillable leads. So I use Faber or Rupturing. They're interchangeable, not to worry with the brands. And the same thing here, we have 0.35 2H leads. One of the last drawing implements that we'll use is the Rupturing Drafting Pen, and this one is an isograph. There are two types of drafting pens you can use, isograph and rapidograph. I prefer to use the isograph with a refillable bladder in the bottom, a little bit more economical and easier to use. The rapidograph has cartridges that you throw away, can be quite expensive and not necessarily any better. So please take note, you will need a 0.13 nib size, and if you take the lid off you can see it's extremely fine. Anything thicker than that and you won't get good results, you won't get the detail that you need. So look out for Rupturing, isograph, 0.13. You will also need a pigmented ink in black, again Rupturing or Faber, interchangeable, not a problem, you can use it between either pen. As a last resort, if you're making mistakes, you might need some liquid paper, a correction pen. You can also use white gouache. Depending on the job and the detail required, you can use either. I generally use the liquid paper and of course your eraser. In addition to all of that, we've got a series of templates that we need to use. A large oval one, a selection of very popular oval ellipses, and some smaller ellipses usually used for foreshortening of stones. So the most popular templates we'll need to use are round ones. I have a selection. The most used ones I have is a Titanic circle template and a Staedtler circle template. The Staedtler is very thin, very flexible, great for small stones. As you can see at the top here, it's got more of a range than the Titanic. It goes very quickly to small stones or circles, which is why you need the intermediate one. You'll find that you'll collect quite a few brands over the years and you'll favour some over the others. That depends on the work that you do. And then lastly, which we won't be using in this lesson but is very helpful for future lessons, is a collection of ellipses at different degrees. This set starts at 15 and finishes at 60. It can be used for absolutely everything. Saves the shaky hand if you get instances where you may need to draw a curve freehand. Just pick up your ellipse and do it with that. Much better. In future lessons we'll be using polychromos wax-based pencils in order to make our tech drawings look a little bit more realistic. Right, before we get going we need a couple of reference points to start our drawing. One of those reference points is a finger size. That should have been taken obviously from the client. Then we come to our chart and then convert it to inside diameter of the circle that we're about to start with, which relates to the client's finger size. So we need a conversion chart. So the next thing we need is another reference chart, and that's in relation to generally diamonds or precious stones. That's the same as our finger chart, but obviously in smaller increments. We go from a half point diamond, which is 1 millimetre, all the way up to perhaps 5 carats, which is 11.2 millimetres. So we have everything in between. I have a small chart for princess cuts, I have a small chart for baguette, pear shape, marquee and oval. Anything outside of that you will generally get as a custom stone, an individual size, in which case you use your calipers to measure. Write it down on your paper before you start and then off you go.